Alrighty. Likutei Hashachar Halachot. We are holding by Sif Tes. וזהו חצות לילה אקום להודות לך על משפטי צדקך. In the middle of the night, I shall wake up to thank you on the judgments of your justice. להודות לך משפטי צדקך, to thank you on the judgments of your tzedek, of your justice, הבחינת Bircot. This is the same principle of Bircot, that we bless and we thank the name of Kadosh Baruch Hu, Asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim, that has chosen us from all the nations, and gave us His Torah, Shem Mishpatei Tzidko. This is the rules of His judgment. V'zeh b'chinas chatzos laila. This is the inyan of chatzos laila. Akum l'odot lecha. I shall get up to thank you. Kimas chatzois, because waking up chatzois and Bircot Torah is one b'china. When you do this, what you do is you awake that nekudas hatoiv which is in you from the kedushas Yisrael. You're waking up the sanctity of Israel in you. That is the pintal Moshe that is burning inside you. What this does, this separates you from the goyim, from the bad. And what happens is that you ascend, you go up, and you get included in the kedusha of Israel. And that's the rotzen, that's the eternal will. This is why, they are one next to the other. I get up in Chatzois to thank you for Mishpatei Tzidkecha, for the Torah, because this is one thing. You have to understand that every Yid is going through a constant struggle every single day, and this generation is much harder than ever was before. To stay away from the Goyishkeit. I mean, it's almost impossible to tell yourself, and when you tell yourself, when you are unable to tell yourself your children have problem of tearing themselves away from that, it's a problem. It's a problem because there is the gashmis of this world is just a magnet. I mean, it's such a, it's like they said that when a person goes out of this world with money, with a lot of money, it's like a sheep that has a lot of wool. It has to go through Naldino. That's, the river of fire that the neshamas have to go through to purify, themselves before they can get to Elam Haba. What is Naldino? Naldino is basically the thing that purifies the neshamas from Elam Haza. That's it. The only thing now of fire. The fire is not the river. The river itself is not a river of fire. It's just a river of spirituality. That's all it is. It's basically like a semi-porous membrane. The chemical goes from one side to the other. And what needs to be is that like a semi-porous membrane is a membrane that exists, let's say inside a tank, and there's the membrane in the middle. On one side is water, the other side is water with chemical, some chemical in it. Now, there's one of the laws of science is that when you have a concentration of a certain substance on one side in water, and it's connected to water which is clean from it, so that substance will distribute itself throughout the whole thing equally. In other words, the chemical will move from this side to that side. It's a natural law, one of the laws of physics. What now is the equalization of saturation, it's called. It's saturation of that substance, there's the naturally it looks to equal it wherever it is. So that's if the water is dirty on one side and it's clean on another side, so that unless the dirt, of course, is settling down, eventually the entire world will be dirty, but less, until the whole thing is equal. This is so if you put together, if you between them, you put a membrane which is semi-porous. In other words, it's not completely porous, it's not completely closed. If it's closed, one side will keep the way it was, the other side will keep the way it was. If it's semi-porous, it'll try to go through, but the thing that limits the migration from one side to the next is the size of the pores in the membrane. In other words, if the molecules of that chemical on the left side are too big to go through the holes in the membrane, it'll stay on this side. All the molecules that are small enough to go through the holes, they will go through the hole. This is called a semi-porous membrane. Okay. Now the know is basically a semi-porous membrane. What happens is it just lets the neshama go through, but not all the residue neshama brings with of gashmis. That process of the big molecules of gashmis staying behind, kaviyachol, separating from the neshama, from the achiz and the neshamas, is a feeling of a burning feeling. It burns up the gashmis. The only thing that goes through is the neshama clean. Then it's ready to get whatever it needs to get. Either Gehenna or Kafakela or Gan Eden, whatever it is that comes afterwards.
So it's just enough to get it through, but it doesn't clean it completely, right?
It cleans from the very basics so that you can start, being dealt with, with oil hamadik inyanim. It's okay. Bekitzur. So when somebody comes out of this world with a lot of money, it's deep in the inyan of money, they are like a sheep that is coming with fully grown wool into a river. If the sheep is short, it just goes in and goes out. If it comes and full with wool, this world is what should I tell you? When you wake up Chatzos and when you think you make Bircot Torah, what it does is it is mechazik that nekudas kedushas Yisrael in you, and you're less susceptible to this world. You're less susceptible to this world. Obviously, you have to let go. We all have our own character defects that are standing on our way. And it causes us a great amount of anguish and suffering, and we just we can't shake it. We can't shake it. I mean, it's like, the basic question when you're doing with your life, it has to do with, pronounce anything. The people who are doers, they have one question. The question is how. How do I pay my bill? How do I get my business together? How do I get more work? How do I do this? Or how do I do that? How do I get to learn? How do I do the daven? How? That's the question. Everybody else is just lamenting what a poor childhood I had, and what a horrible thing I had,
Why?
and how he hurt my feelings.
Why?
And it says, why?
Woe is me.
Woe is me. Why did it happen? Why did you do it? Why did you say it? Why did this happen? Why did that happen? as opposed to how. How do I do whatever it is, weiter, to go weiter? Okay, now, the thing is that it sounds beautiful, it sounds so smart, so clever, blah, 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 but I still cannot say how. I still say why. You know, and you know, when it comes to doing, all right? So, you know, successful people, ruchnis also, I'm not talking about dafka gashmis, it's everything. Ruchnis, gashmis, is all the same thing. Successful people do. How? How do I do it? Then go ahead and you do. He says, a guy that doesn't get to do whatever he's doing will never get to do it. Will never do it. This, and it's a teretz this, and it's a teretz that, and it's a teretz this, and it's a teretz that, and this, and that, and this, and that, and this, and that. So you come to Kodesh Baruch, just because you want it to get off, just because you know what it is, doesn't get it off. So just you know, it's like somebody would have once said that he has a degree in economics. Says that way when he's broke, he'll know why. You know, it's like, it don't help. What good does it do? You know, it's like the point of the whole thing is that Kadosh Baruch Hu can take it away from you. The way Kadosh Baruch Hu can remove from you the defects of your character, anything, laziness, problem getting out on knowing, getting work, blah blah, everything, is if you let him. You say, what? Excuse me? If you let him. The point is, I don't want him to take it off. I just don't want to pay the price of having those defects. In self-esteem, in parnasa, in this and that. That's the part I don't like. The defect itself, I like a lot. Because it allows me, you know, to sit, you know, on my duff and just, you know, do nothing. Be irresponsible, whatever it is, not get responsibility, whatever. I like that. It's the other part. What it costs me, that's what I don't like. So I ask him, please remove it, please remove it, please remove it. But while I'm asking to remove it, I'm actually holding on for dear life to this defect, so he doesn't take it away from me. The only way that I can really be willing for Hashem to remove the character defect from me is if I start behaving as if it's already taken. In other words, let's say that my problem is that I don't get up in the morning. So that causes a certain kind of a vicious circle that I don't get up in the morning early as I want. And I go, I can't believe I did it again. Why? Guess what happens the next morning? I don't wake up again. And of course, being I'm an honest Jew, why? Can't believe this. Next morning, I'll go play it again. Oh, I'm like the worst. I'm the worst. I should be shot. Next morning, wake up, play it again. So you say to yourself, you know something, accept the fact that you don't wake up early in the morning. What do you want? I should be a Russia? I should accept it already? Like this is my lot of life? No, I should wake up early in the morning. Why?
Sandy.
What you need to do. So why? Because I wake up in the morning, sometimes I wake up in the morning early, but I can do it a day, maybe 2 days. Then I go back to waking up late again. So I'm desperate. At least I'm crying about it, you know. At least I'm not accepting it lying down, excuse the pun. You know? But the point is that, no. waking up early in the morning when I can, and trying again, and trying again, and trying again, does not take away the character defect for me. It does something else. It dislodges the death grip that I have on that defect. It makes me willing for Hashem to take it away from me. Then Hashem takes it away. I don't have the courage to take it away. I can't. Only Hashem can take it away from me. But I have to let Him. The only way to let Him is to do as if it's not there. It works, it doesn't work. One day yes, one day no, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. You do what you can, and Kodesh Baruch Hu will do the rest. That nekuda of thanking Hashem that you're born Mizer Yisrael, that and obviously looking up Chetzois is waking up that nekuda sayadus. It makes it so much easier not to be sucked in, not to be magnetized, into the olam of the goyim. V'chol zeh if you the B'chinas Pesach, this is all B'chinas Pesach, Isur Chometz u'mitzvahs achilas matzah. Kanvor le'er al-mamar b'seinu zal ein ben chametz le'matzah ela mashu. The only difference between chometz and matzah is just a mashu, a smidgen, something. שהמשהו הזה הוא בחינת הנקודה הקדושה. That particular mashu is that holy nekuda. This is Moshe understanding between Shema Derotzon. Now, it's very important that you understand that the Kedusha is Mashahu and the Tumah is Mashahu. That there is that little chupchik in between, that Mashahu between the gag, the roof of the ches or the hay and the leg. The difference is that in ches, that nekuda is in there. It connects the leg to the roof. Makes it in ches. And by hay, the nekuda is not there. By the hay, that mashahu is the nekuda, the kedusha. By the ches is the nekuda, the mashahu of tumah. That's the shorsh of Amalek, the shorsh of all the tumah. That's why the Isur Chometz is b'mashahu. That dot which makes the hay into a ches is the inus of Chometz b'mashahu. The Isur Chometz b'mashahu.
Either side of holiness or the side of impurity.
What?
Either, it could be either or, either side.
Yes. It's a nekuda this and nekuda that. It's B'chinas Moshe Shomer Shema Derotzon Kimura B'Sforim. It is said in all the Sforim, Shechometz b'Pesach, Chometz during Pesach, or B'chinas Avodah Zorah El Acher Kfiras. It's an idol. It's a foreign idol, and it's heresy. Shezo B'chinas Shmad. This is the thing that constitutes the B'china of Shmad. B'chinas Zumas v'Tumas Mitzrayim. That's the filth and the defilement of Mitzrayim. This is the totality of all the 70 nations that worship idols. Yisrael nivcharu az mehem le'am segula, and Am Yisrael were chosen from amongst them to be a mysterious, wondrous nation. And they were included in the name of Hashem. Shu b'chinas rotzli. That will that permeates the Jewish nation, that never ceases. You know, in the 17th century, in Prussia, which used to be Germany, Prussia, it is there was a king called Friedrich the Great that considered himself to be enlightened, as long as it didn't come to his interest, of course. When it comes to his interest, you're dead meat. But idea, you know, it's like all the guys coming to the Mandela, to what's it, Mandela's Levaya in South Africa. Yeah, Nelson Mandela, you know, in South Africa.
Yeah.
The old tzaddikim. So he had an argument. He had an argument with his chief galach, his chief priest over there, you know, whatever they call the ministers, whatever. No, it's not a common. It's a they're Lutherans. In Germany is Reformation, right? It's, whatever. So he tells the priest, prove to me. What proof do you have that God exists? So the Galach thought and says, the Jews. There's no way to explain the Jews. There's simply no way to explain the Jews. The only nation that is comparably pchot yoter as old as they are the Chinese. And basically the Chinese is simply because there's so many of them. And nobody ever bothered with them, you know. A huge place with gazillion of people. You know, this, that, it doesn't make a difference. The Jews are a tiny little nation, constantly under microscope, constantly being persecuted by everybody and his uncle. Forget about it.
Even in their dreams.
And they're still here. And they keep on going. And there's a hatred that keeps on brewing and keeps on bubbling and keeps on going on, and there's absolutely nothing that you can do. Nothing you can do. And, you know, and some Yidden get really tired of the whole thing, and it says, you know something, maybe if we be more like them, maybe they'll like us. Sure. Germany, mind you, was the first country to give Jews total equality under the law in the late 19th century. We know how well that went. There's nothing you can do. Halacha Esav Soynel Yaakov. How Am Yisrael exists is totally beyond. It defies all logic. You don't have anything that can withstand the will. You know, Louis Pasteur said, you know, there is nothing in the world that is stronger than an idea whose time has come. You saw the minute that communism, Soviet Union, we were absolutely certain it's going to exist for 1,000 years. You know, they were writing, wie heißt das so? Science fiction. Isaac Asimov, he wrote science fiction. He wrote science fiction. 1,000 years from now, there's still USA and Soviet Union. You know, like in space. Yeah, everybody was on one side of the fence. Who knows? And this and ballistic missiles and this and this and this, and without a single bullet, the Soviet Union just crashed into dust. Why? Because the time the idea came, it's finished. And things come and things go. The Ruach in Am Yisrael is the Ratzon of the Kodesh Baruch Hu that permeates in it, and it's totally indestructible. They call it the eternal Jew, they call it whatever you want to call it, totally indestructible. Why? Because they are the manifestation of the Ratzon of Hashem. And it's that Nekuda in Kodesh L'chol. שהוא בחינת רוצון, שהוא בחינת מצו. The matzo is the רוצון. ועל כן בפסח, Pesach signifies the beginning of the coming close of Israel to their Father in heaven. At that time, in the very beginning, also החומץ באיסור חומר מאוד, ובעל יראה ובעל מוצא, cannot be seen, cannot be found. ואחר קדושת קריאת ים סוף, after the sanctity of the tearing of Yam Suf, then the chometz is allowed. ובשבועס, בזמן מתן תורתנו, when you're already giving the Torah, this is the full maturity spiritually. מביאים חומץ דייקה לקורבן בשני הלחם. This is when you bring a korban of דווקא חומץ, the two challahs. כי עיקר הגאולה ממצרים, וכל הגוליוס, ומכל הגולוס, וכל הסכמוס להשם ישראל להשם יזבוך, the main redemption from Mitzrayim and all the other exiles, and the essence of the coming closer of Am Yisrael to Hashem Yisborach, is through the Bechinas Pidyonis, that kind of redeeming. Shu Bechinas Amtokas Adinim, that's a sweetening of the judgments. This is how Kodesh Baruch Hu redeemed us from Mitzrayim. Kmo shekoso apodcha mi beis avodim, you know, that redeems you from the house of slavery. This is, he redeems us also now from all the problems. You know, redeeming, you know, the one who redeems us and saves us from forever is your name. And we are just hoping now that the Kodesh Baruch Hu will save us and redeem us from this bitter exile, a total redemption, leman shmo, you know, for the sake of His name. He will redeem Am Yisrael. The bringer of the Redeemer to the children's children for the sake of His name. The main pidyon is that supernal pidyon. If you remember, it includes all the 24-hour ransom and pidyonis. This is it came about through Moshe Rabbeinu being mistalek al yedei b'chinas es rotzon, at the time of supernal, the expression of the supernal will. That's the will of wills. So there's a misbatim when talking kol adili. That's the thing that cancels out and sweetens out all the judgments. But the full extent of that sweetening, that redemption, is going to be when Mashiach is going to come, which is Moshe himself. This is says about Ke'ad Atik Yomen Mato Ulvushe Kitlag Chivo. Until the Atik Yomen, the ancient one, you know, will come, and his garments are like white wool. This is the symbol that is used to depict, to express the descending of the Rav the Ravin, the will of all wills. This is the expression of the total Rachmanos of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. That's why Moshe Rabbeinu initially refused to go to Mitzrayim. Again. Shlach b'yad tishlach, send in the hands of Mashiach. He said, why? Ki yodeh ani she'eni golam la'aseh. He said, I know I'm not the one that will redeem them in the future. So Rashi said. As Chazal said, was ki yodeh, because he knew she'en bekoicho ligmor apidyon zeh b'shlemus gomer. He doesn't have the koich yet to finish this pidyon, this redemption in total completeness. Only once he passes away that the Moshe Rabbeinu will go up into the Rav the Ravin. And because of that inability, you know, to fix everything before he passes away, this will bring about all the exiles and all the problems, and all the trials and tribulations Hashem should save us. From the harshness of the judgments, and the kfiras v'avodah zorah, through this kind of sticky mud of Zora and heresy. Because we still haven't gotten out completely from the essence of Shmad, of oblivion, to the essence of the eternal will. אבל השם יזברך הכריחו ללך, הקדוש ברוך הוא forced him to go. והבטיחו שאף על פי כן יגאל ישראל, even so he was still redeem עם ישראל. ויזכו לקבל את התורה בשבועס, אין החינם, it's not the final redemption, but they'll get the Torah in שבועס. As כמו שכוסו ותנסד בהוציאך את העם ממצרים, when you will take the people out of מצרים, תעבדונס אלוקים על ההר הזה, you will serve Hashem on this mountain. שהבטיחו שיקבלו את התורה בשבועס. He says he promised him that Am Yisrael will receive the Torah in שבועס. ואז יזכו לאורס הרוס הנ"ל. Then they will be zoicha to the illumination of that supernal volition at will. כמו שאמרו חז"ל, בשבועס נדמה להם כזקן מלא רחמים. On שבועס, that when they saw Kadosh Baruch Hu in Har Sinai, they saw him like an elder sage full with rachamim. And that's the symbol of the time of favor, of will. That's the 13 rectification of the beard that we spoke about many times. As they said in the Rambam, it says in the Kavodas Arizal, Reza explains that Shavuos, this is how we get. We get all the way to the Keser Elyon, to the 13 tikkunim of the Diknu. Ki Ikar Iskar Yisrael Hashem Yisborach. The main coming close of Israel to Hashem Yisborach, Haya B'Shas Matan Torah. This was the time of Matan Torah. Shas Iskaru Kegerim. Then they came close to Kodesh Baruch Hu like Gerim. As Rashi said, that they converted like Gerim. How there's Tvilo, this is when the Moshe Rabbeinu, with the Korbanos and the Dam Ba'agonos, and they put all the blood in like these tubs, and they sprinkle on Am Yisrael. This is like a Zohar, from Tmei Mes. This is like this is any kind of whenever a ger comes and toivels. So they said, this is anybody who steps away from the foreskin, from Goyishkeit, like somebody who left a grave. In other words, like it was Tome Meis. This Hazoah, this sprinkling, what is the Tara, what is the purification process on somebody who is Tome Meis? You sprinkle on them, the third and the seventh day, right? From Parah Duma. That's that blood that Moshe Rabbeinu sprinkled on Am Yisrael in the very beginning, before Matan Torah. This is in the place of the sprinkling of the Meichatos of Parah Duma on some of your Tova Meis, because the Klal Yisrael were considered at that time to be like Gerim. So we said Moshe Rabbeinu standing between Shmad and Rotzon, so he did it right then and there. The main coming close to Gerim is through this pidyon. So they said that through this oil Mishmad LeRotzon, you come out from Shmad to Rotzon. Al de Moshe. This is through Moshe. Shal Yado, Nizgairu, V'kiblu Satorah. This is all through Moshe, that through him the entire Am Yisrael converted to Yiddishkeit and received the Torah.